The revenge of a silent ghost. Why is a dead woman's spirit trying to take the whole family to the other world? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover a crime that has been hidden for years. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and impressive stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate tangled criminal cases and unbelievable mystical phenomena. This story began when Jana Shulakova and Yaroslava Fedorova, having finished an investigation, were going to go home. A woman approached them suddenly. She said her name was Iryna, and she feared she could lose her children.
I would like to ask for help. I am very worried about my children, and I'm terribly afraid I might lose one of them. God forbid. There is a ghost in my house, and it wants to take them away. Danilo is 14, Valeria is 11, and Nat is 5 today.
I see some kind of pillar burning wildly, and your children next to it.
Fire.
Where?
What's burning?
My God, it's awful.
Fire! Don't approach it, it's going to blaze.
A transformer caught fire out of a sudden.
There's somebody standing there. It was a dead woman with fair hair. She was trying to say something, but she seemed to have no voice.
The woman seemed to have a connection to Iryna's family, but why did her spirit haunt her children?
A little over a week ago, a 10,000-volt wire fell on our street.
The cable snapped from the pole and fell right on Iryna's children as they were returning from school. A spark from the electric wire caused a fire. Everything around started to burn. It was a miracle Iryna's children escaped from the flames.
I see a small room, and I see its floor burst into flames.
It happened about 4 days ago. I went to work, and my son stayed home.
As it turned out, Iryna's eldest son was sitting in the room at the computer when the socket next to him suddenly started burning and the floor instantly ignited.
He extinguished it. Otherwise, it would have ended in a tragedy.
Iryna doesn't understand what's going on, whose spirit is trying to burn her children, and why.
I had a vision. There was a room with no windows or doors and a woman inside it. She opened her eyes and tried to scream, but she couldn't. She had no voice.
Your children feel this woman from the world of the dead.
Yes. Valeria says she's afraid to stay home alone.
I was doing the dishes, the towel was on the table, and when I turned to get it, I saw it on the chair, and then the couch moved. I heard something creak sharply. My friends were in the house too, and they also heard it.
I've consulted the cards. A living woman pays money to cover up a heinous crime, but in doing so, she buys the deaths of 3 people. Could it possibly concern Iryna and her children? Has anybody in your family died from fire?
My mother. She burned in her house when I was 6.
She died under mysterious circumstances, and it happened somewhere far, far away.
It was in the north.
Iryna's mother died 26 years ago in Yakutia, where she was working at the time. The local police told the family that it had been an accident.
A gas leak caused the fire while she was sleeping.
But Iryna and her sisters don't know what actually happened. The clairvoyants agreed to help Iryna, and the following day, they asked for a photo of her mother. However, Yaroslava Fedorova had to go to do another investigation. As such, Jana Shulakova called her another colleague, Rubina Tsibulska.
I had a dream, a blue house, and a woman's body in blood. And there was also Jana shouting, "Iryna, you'll have to pay for this." It was a vision of the future. I see a woman. She's standing among trees, and in front of her, there's a man is kneeling. She's trying to say something to him, but she can't. And this woman begins to strangle him. And there are bodies of 2 other men around them.
My late grandmother came to me in a dream. She was holding the voiceless woman's hand and saying, "They left her childless. For this, she will take their children."
It feels like Iryna keeps some terrible secret.
But at that moment, Iryna interrupted the psychic's conversation. She came to bring her mother's photo.
What was her name?
Maya.
I see her. She's crying. She says, "I was killed."
I see male hands. They're holding gold. She was killed by a man who took her jewelry.
My sister said all her gold was gone.
She says, "A man I loved did this?"
Your father?
No. Dad was in Ukraine then. They were divorced.
After the divorce, Iryna's mother went to work abroad. The sisters' grandparents looked after them. The girls were anticipating their mother's return, but instead, they received her charred remains.
I was astonished to hear that she was murdered.
Did your mother date someone?
Yes, Hennady.
I see a door, and the door is being propped up with a log. By a man.
My goodness.
Your mom can't get out. I hear her screams.
She was found lying on the threshold, and the door was blocked from the outside.
And the same man brought the woman's remains to her family.
Hennady brought them, and our whole family suspected him.
He felt he might be exposed, so he simply ran away.
He left. My sisters tried to find him, but
the murder of Iryna's mother has nothing to do with the threat to her children. Your mother wants to embrace you.
I miss her. I miss her so much.
She's telling me. Find the dead man behind the overturned table. And then she adds, you will find the answer to the secret in the house where the woman who lost her voice was. We were sure she meant Iryna's house.
I had a vision. My grandmother was holding the voiceless woman's hand again and saying, her son must know where his mother disappeared.
Does someone's son doesn't know that his mother died? And is the voiceless woman the mother? But what do Iryna and her children have to do with this? Meanwhile, the clairvoyants are already on the scene. Iryna's friend, Victoria, approaches them. While Iryna was away, she was looking after her children.
I immediately asked Iryna to take her children somewhere else. I was curious about her friend. If only we had known what they were both silent about. Victoria, can I have your hand?
Something happened there.
There are 2 tables behind the house, and one of those tables overturned.
There's a man here, and he's dead. I saw a dead man of about 35 hanging on the tree.
My husband.
Did your husband hang himself?
Yes.
My God.
A shocking revelation. Iryna's husband, Serhiy, took his own life, and he only did it 40 days ago.
I woke up in the morning and saw him hanging here.
To this day, Iryna doesn't understand why he did it. The evening before, everything was as usual.
It was a total shock. Why? How? What? He lived. He was making plans. He was 34, and he had no reasons whatsoever to do it. He had 3 children. He worked and provided for his family.
Serhiy and Iryna spent 14 happy years together. He wasn't just a loving husband, but also a friend to Iryna and a wonderful and caring father to their children.
He loved our children very much. So, it was a shock that he left everything like that and simply went.
I felt that Serhiy committed suicide because of a terrible secret. A secret that could result in not only the death of your children, but also yours. And then my mirror showed me a boy who was about to jump out of the window. It is connected to you.
Yes, it's my son. There's a classroom on the 3rd floor of their school. And he locked himself in it and tried to jump out of the window.
My God.
They broke down the door to the classroom and took him off the windowsill. No one knows why he was going to do it, as he had no conflicts with anybody.
He didn't want this. The dead woman who lost her voice was forcing him to do it.
It's strange. Iryna and Victoria are not blood relatives. Why do their children face the same ghostly threat?
Your son saw Serhiy after his death.
He saw him in a dream about 2 weeks ago. He said Serhiy came and said there would be 9 deaths.
This is so awful.
Victoria, your son is somehow connected to Serhiy.
Serhiy was his godfather.
He says, I come to the children because I want to protect them. They are in danger.
The same force that took your husband is now trying to kill your children.
Based on my feelings, this also concerns your children, Victoria.
I fear for my children. They're the essence of my life.
You know, Serhiy saw someone from the world of the dead before he died.
Yes. He was driving home after the night shift. He said someone was standing there, but when he looked back, he saw no one there. He said he got terrified.
It happened next to a cemetery.
We need to check the place where Serhiy saw the ghost.
Meanwhile, Victoria phoned her husband to tell him about the danger to their children, and he immediately arrived.
Hello, I'm Oleg.
He and Serhiy used to be the best friends.
Oleg, I've seen you.
Strange enough, but the man claims he has never met the clairvoyant.
I saw Serhiy's spirit. The same woman who killed someone named Mykola took him away. Who's Mykola?
Our friend who died.
Mykola, Serhiy, and Olya were the best friends.
Was he your friend?
Yes.
Serhiy saw his spirit near the cemetery before his death. The mirror is showing me Mykola. Did he also hang himself?
He did it 5 years ago. He left his 2 children.
This is incredible. 2 friends from the same party committed suicide.
The first of them hanged himself, and then 5 years later, Serhiy did the same. Of the 3, only Oleg is alive.
The 3 friends knew each other all their lives. They even got married and had children at around the same time.
They had been together since they were children. They were like a family.
But then one of them, Mykola, killed himself. Just like Serhiy, he hanged himself on a tree in his yard while his wife was at work and their children were at school.
When something like that happens out of the blue, you don't have any reasonable explanation for it.
My morning vision repeated. I again saw the woman strangling the man, and this time, I recognized him. I remembered where I saw Oleg.
Where?
Come closer. I saw him in my vision. The bodies of the 2 other men were lying under the trees, and he was being strangled.
Oh, God.
The 2 dead men from my vision were the best friends, Mykola and Serhiy. And Oleg might be next. I see that you have thought about suicide before.
Yes, I had some thoughts.
Oleg says he doesn't understand what's going on. He has no idea why such thoughts come to his mind, or why his 2 best friends killed themselves one after the other.
We grew up and lived on the same street, and our families were close.
Serhiy was our son's godfather, and Mykola was their eldest son's godfather.
I couldn't understand who this voiceless woman who hunted the 3 best friends and their families was. And then I heard my grandmother's voice. She said, her name is Olyna, and she is seeking revenge because of her child. Do you happen to know a woman named Olena who died?
No.
No?
We decided to summon her spirit. I see her. She's beckoning me with her hand.
Over there.
The psychics stop by a house. It seems like nobody lives here. When the neighbors see the clairvoyants, they approach them.
She lives here, and I see her.
She's all bloodied.
I see her suffering. I mentally asked her who tortured her, and she pointed to Oleg.
Yes. We beat up a woman here.
Who we,
Mykola, Serhiy, and I.
the three of you,
Yes?
How old were you then?
About 21 or 22.
I see her. She looks about 30 years old. She has blonde hair. She is thin and short.
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
You don't even know her name.
I don't.
why so much blood?
Because they not only beat her, but they also raped her.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember if you raped a woman?
It was long ago.
How can you...
This woman knows what happened that terrible night.
They first beat her up over there, and then they started to rape her, all three of them. She fainted, but they poured water on her and beat her head against the wall.
Don't hide anything. Tell the truth.
Don't you see yourself hitting her when you close your eyes? Don't you hear her wheezing?
I don't.
You do. This is why you want to kill yourself. She's standing behind you, staring at the back of your head. They came and did it. Like beasts.
Did you know that?
I heard something, but I didn't know exactly what happened.
My neighbors only mentioned it.
These two women hid the secret of the terrible atrocity from us. Did they really think we would not find out? And now tell me, why did you do this?
Off the record.
Tell the truth.
Did you get drunk and decide to have fun?
Yes, we were drinking.
This is an atrocity. After what you did to her, she lost her speech. I see that she had a stroke.
Yes, she couldn't speak well.
I came in and saw her lying here in the corridor, bruised badly. I could see that she was having a stroke. She spent a long time in the hospital.
It was because of the stroke that this woman couldn't speak. That's why she appeared voiceless in our visions.
She couldn't walk or talk.
She lost her mind and was admitted to an asylum.
The neighbors say that the woman was placed in a mental health facility after what happened to her.
She didn't remember who she was or where she was from. She couldn't name her relatives. She died there a few months later.
She lost her life because of you, young bastards.
And I see she was also a mother.
She had a son, Valeri.
He became an orphan.
Nobody told him because she couldn't give us the address. She could not speak.
As the result of the brutal assault, the poor woman died, and her only son was left an orphan and didn't even know where his mother had gone.
According to the neighbors, the woman moved to their village shortly before this tragedy. She didn't communicate much with the other villagers. She had only told them that she had a son, but no one knew whether she was divorced or where her child lived.
You committed an awful atrocity but got away with it.
Yes.
The parents settled the matter.
Money.
This story was quickly hushed up because Oleg's mother is very influential.
She promised someone to a lot of money to hush up the whole thing.
A woman pays money to cover up a brutal massacre.
Do you realize what you did?
Now I do.
I hear her. She says, I will take revenge on them.
They left her without her child. For that, she will take their children away from them. Iryna, you'll have to pay for this.
Oh my goodness. But the kids are innocent, do you understand it? Please help us.
I apologize to this woman for what we young fools did to her. I don't know how it happened.
Do you think this is the proper way to apologize for such a terrible act? Or do you expect us to perform some kind of ritual that should save you?
No psychic and no ritual can relieve anybody of responsibility for violence and death. The only way to the soul of the dead woman is sincere repentance. And maybe she will hear and forgive you one day.
You must pray to deserve this woman's forgiveness. And we have to go.
Children are not responsible for their parents' deeds, the saying goes, but the world of the dead has its own laws. If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive investigations are coming up. Why is a ghost in white trying to take a woman to the other world? An astonishing investigation by the psychics. A wedding that ended in a horrific crime, and the bride's eerie revenge. Svitlana, she is 33 years old. She works at a PR agency. She never believed in mysticism until her 7-year-old son Vladek scared his mom with a terrifying prediction.
He woke up at night and said, Mom, you will die.
Vladek assured his mom that he had seen a fair-haired woman next to her bed. She was looking at Svitlana and whispering something. And the next moment, it seemed like something possessed the boy.
He blabbered incoherently. It sounded like random sounds.
A minute later, the strange attack stopped and the boy fell asleep.
I immediately thought something bad had happened to his head, like a brain injury.
The following day, Svitlana took her son to the hospital, but the medical checkup revealed nothing.
They found no changes in his brain.
Over the next few days, the boy looked frightened and withdrawn. Soon, his mother found an album with very strange drawings under his bed.
There was a picture of him and his dad, and next to them, there was a cross. He said, Mom, this is you. These are blood stains. It was a terrifying drawing.
Svitlana's son continues to see the fair-haired woman next to his mother at night. The boy almost stopped sleeping because he fears the mysterious ghost might kill his mother.
I fear Mom may be gone.
Soon enough, Svitlana indeed found herself on the brink of life and death. She, a woman who has been going swimming since she was little, almost drowned. She only remembers diving into the pool in the gym.
I went straight to the bottom. My coach jumped in after me. At that moment, I felt like I was dying.
Luckily, she was saved. However, later that night, at home, Svitlana witnessed the mysterious fair-haired ghost.
She's dead. Her face is white, and she tries to grab me by the hands. Everything around me was spinning. The walls were turning upside down.
Svitlana's friend, who stayed with her for the night, only remembers hearing Vladek's scream. When she ran into the room, she saw his mother lying on the floor with her eyes wide open.
She was mumbling something. I couldn't understand her.
Svitlana fainted. The ambulance crew that her friend called was barely able to revive her. The medics assured that she was a step away from a coma.
A medical council was convened, but they couldn't diagnose her.
The examination yielded no specific results. However, Svitlana is convinced it's all the fault of the ghost that's haunting her, and every night she expects in horror to see the stranger from the world of the dead.
I'm terribly afraid I could die.
Svitlana's greatest fear is that her little son may stay an orphan.
I can't imagine what he will do if I die. I really want the psychics to come and help me understand. what's going on with me.
Psychics Rubina Tsibulska and Yana Pasinkova agreed to help Svitlana. However, on the eve of the investigation, Rubina received a call from her colleague Kayal Alekperov, who was in Azerbaijan at the time. He sounded concerned.
Rubina, I had a terrible vision. You, Yana, and a dark-haired woman were in a large white room somewhere underground. Suddenly, the spirit of a dead woman appeared. She abruptly shut the door behind her. I heard you scream in the dark. Please watch out.
Does the dead woman pose danger to us?
Please send me a photo of the woman you're going to see. I'll work with it, and maybe I can help you somehow.
My mother's spirit came to me and said, "We will stop death only when we see tears in the river."
The card of the blind bride. I have a vision. There's a young bride in a white dress, standing. Her face is veiled. A man stands before her, and when he lifts her veil, she looks at him but sees nothing.
Is this the ghost of the woman that Svitlana constantly sees?
No. The woman Svitlana spoke about is blonde, and the woman I see has dark hair. But she is directly connected to what is happening to Svitlana. It was all about a love triangle and a wedding that ended in horror. However, we learned about this much later.
Svitlana is waiting for the clairvoyance in front of the building where she lives. Her mother, Larisa, came to support her daughter.
Hello? I was really waiting for you. Thank you for coming.
When I tune in to the spirit of the woman you feel, I see the following picture. You descend stairs somewhere underground. This is a dream you had.
Yes, yes.
This dead woman was with you in that dream.
She followed me. I tried to run, but she chased me.
In the room where Svitlana stood, all the walls were covered with inscriptions, and all of them were a name, Olya, and they were made in blood. According to my feelings, it was the name of the dead woman.
Suddenly, Rubina Tsibulska receives a call from Kayal Alekperov.
I was just working with Svitlana's photo, and a man's spirit came to me. I know this man. He is from Ukraine. Many years ago, when he was still alive, he asked me for help. He asked to find his daughter. She went out of her apartment and didn't come back. Unfortunately, she was never found. Now his spirit is asking me again to find her because he has to tell his daughter the truth and apologize.
What happened to his daughter?
She's dead, and she's got no head. Her name is Olya.
Olya? This is the name of the dead woman who's haunting Svitlana. What could it be? A strange coincidence? Or is it the same young woman?
My jinns are telling me it's all connected to a wedding.
You see the woman's spirit in your apartment only, don't you?
Yes, yes.
Can we check your apartment? Her spirit keeps coming here because someone here calls her. The voice is male. But whose is it, and who is this she? Have you ever heard about a young woman who used to live here and died?
No, never.
Rubina, I saw the spirit of the missing woman's father again. He said he keeps coming to his daughter's apartment to call her.
Incredibly, I just worked in Svitlana's apartment and felt the same. A deceased man's voice was calling the woman's spirit.
Does that mean that the young woman that I once searched for used to live in the apartment where you are now working?
We couldn't believe it, as it was too incredible to be a coincidence. And so we talked to the old residents of the building to find out who used to live in this apartment.
A military man and his wife lived here, and they had a daughter. And then she disappeared. She left home. What was her name?
Olya, if I'm not wrong.
This is incredible. Is it the same Olya that the Azerbaijani psychic tried to find many years ago? And is it her ghost that's been coming to Svitlana's apartment?
Olya's father said, I need to talk to my daughter. If this doesn't happen, the deaths will continue. His daughter became a killer after death, and someone has already died because of her.
She's looking for something that belongs to her, and she won't stop.
Yana, I felt deadly energy in front of one of the apartments on this floor.
A young man recently died in the apartment next door.
Let's go there quickly. I feel that someone recently died in this apartment. They suffocated.
Yes, it was my husband, Vyacheslav. It was a tragic accident. He drowned, choked on water.
The woman says that she, her husband, and their little son went to the riverside one morning. It was hot, so Vyacheslav decided to swim immediately. Marina stayed on the bank to spread a blanket on the sand and lay out their things. Then she saw people pull her husband's body out of the water. Vyacheslav drowned.
I buried a part of myself with him.
The ghost of the woman that Svitlana sees is to blame for your husband's death. Did you see a female silhouette in your home?
Yes.
Wait, I feel someone suffocating. The energy of death is also coming from this apartment.
A young man lived here. He died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
The victim's name was Serhiy. In the morning, a neighbor felt a strange smell coming from his apartment. The neighbors broke down the door and found Serhiy's body lying in the middle of the room. He was a close friend of the family of Vyacheslav, who drowned in the river. The men died a year apart.
He was a real friend. Burying your family and close friends is the worst thing ever.
An otherworldly force was also involved in Serhiy's death.
One day, through the peephole in the door, he saw a woman in white standing on the other side of it. But when he opened the door, she disappeared.
I'm being drawn outside.
Meanwhile, Kayal Alekperov tries to tune in to the spirit of the young woman who disappeared many years ago.
My jinns are telling me that the place where she lived became the place where she died, and the key to the mystery is in Svitlana's dreams.
The psychic urgently sends a text to Rubina Tsibulska.
It dawned on me. The dream in which you go down the stairs, but you don't understand where. The only place in the building where we haven't worked yet and where you can go down the stairs is the basement.
The clairvoyant and Svitlana go down to check the basement of the house. Fortunately, the door is open.
Quiet. The woman's spirit is here. I see her body. This is the place where she died.
This is horrifying. But the Azerbaijani psychic felt that she had no head. Was she really killed in the basement of the building where she lived?
Hold up. She wasn't murdered. She committed suicide. She hanged herself down here. I asked her, "Why did you end your life like that?" And I get the cards of love and a relative. This man is older than her. This is her father. Her father tells her who she's supposed to love. She was married to a man she didn't love.
Svitlana and her mother had never heard this before. But after the investigation, the psychic's feelings were confirmed.
She was married to a military man, but she didn't love him. They lived together for a short time, and then she disappeared.
My mirror is showing me Olha's name written with blood on the walls again. Her husband wrote it. She was afraid to disobey her father, but she couldn't stay with the man she didn't love. She committed suicide because of her unhappy marriage, and so he killed himself because of the unrequited love for her.
He searched for her for a long time, but he never found her. Thinking she had left him, he cut his veins. When the police came in, all the walls were covered in blood, and her name was written with it all over the place.
What a terrifying story. But why is Olha's spirit haunting Svitlana? And why did she take the lives of her two neighbors?
I see people who found her. But they aren't her family. They didn't find her immediately. They're strangers, and they took something from her.
Her head. That's why Kayal saw her without the head. I saw 2 dead men from this building play with her skull like a ball. And then they put candles in it.
It turned out that everything the clairvoyant said is true.
They did find the bones and play football with the skull. At that time, they didn't take it seriously. It was just a game to them.
The locals noticed the 2 teenage boys playing with the skull in the courtyard, and the teenagers showed where they had found the remains. It turned out that residents didn't use the basement at all, and it only housed communication systems. This is why Olya's body was found so late.
Olya's spirit took revenge on her offenders for desecrating her remains, and they died in the same way she did, from suffocation. Svitlana, she doesn't come to your apartment because of this. The spirit of her deceased father is calling her there. For some reason, they don't see each other, and I think I finally know why. Kayal, her father still can't find his daughter because she committed suicide while he died naturally. They are in parallel realms and can't meet.
I'll try to carry out a ritual so that the father and daughter can meet for at least a moment and ask each other for forgiveness. Thanks to this, Olya's spirit should leave Svitlana's apartment.
But Svitlana, you're under the threat of death not because of Olya's spirit. It appears that someone has made a breach in your energy field. It is due to this weakened energy that Svitlana began to see and feel Olya's spirit.
I have no idea how this breach happened.
A woman destroyed the energy shield that protects you. She is alive, and you know her. I saw a strange picture. In it, there was Svitlana screaming in pain with male hands on her neck, and there was also a bride.
The clairvoyants hurry back to Svitlana's apartment to talk to her in private.
The woman who emanates the danger to you is pregnant. She looks you in your eyes and curses you.
I see this woman in a veil. She's a bride. She is your friend. And she curses you, blaming you for seducing her fiancé. It happened right at their wedding.
It was a long time ago. He raped me. At his own wedding.
My God, this is terrible.
At that time, Svitlana was still in school. After the wedding of her close friend, she decided to save money and, instead of calling a taxi, walked home.
They caught up with me in a taxi, the best man and the groom.
And then something terrible happened. The groom dragged Svitlana to the bank of a nearby river.
He covered my mouth with his hand and said, "If you scream, I'll drown you." He made me take off my tights. I was a child, so what could I do? I cried. I clearly remember the sound of water. The water was flowing. He hung my head down.
I see tears dropping into the river.
That was my first experience. Then he told me, "If you tell anyone, I'll kill you. You won't live. I guarantee that."
However, Svitlana immediately told everything to her grandmother and called the police. But the worst thing of all is that the brutal rapist of the schoolgirl was never punished.
His relative works at the police, and so he avoided the problems.
So he deceived his wife, to whom he swore fidelity at the altar. How did she react to this?
His wife came to my house. I was lying on the bed crying, and she came in. And the first words she said to me were, "Aren't you ashamed to look into the eyes of a pregnant woman?"
Seriously?
I'm speechless.
And then she cursed you.
Yes.
Svitlana's pregnant friend was the bride from my vision. The card of the blind bride. It was as if there were a white veil over her eyes. The woman was so blinded by love that she refused to hear the truth about her husband, who turned out to be a rapist.
The thing is that the curse destroyed your biofield year by year. But when you moved to this apartment and were here with two spirits at the same time, your energetic protection almost completely collapsed. That's why Svitlana began to find herself on the brink of life and death, seeing spirits and hearing their voices. But then I felt something terrible. I feel that after the rape, you wanted to take your own life.
I simply didn't know how to live with it or how I was supposed to appear at school.
Larissa, it's strange, but I feel that you didn't support your daughter at this difficult period of her life.
I was away, I wasn't around.
Mom found out about it after some time.
How come you weren't around?
I had certain family circumstances.
You wanted to say a man.
Did you trade your child for a man?
Well, it turned out that way.
It turned out that Larissa divorced her first husband, Svitlana's father. Svitlana was raised by her grandparents, while her mother was working abroad and arranging her personal life.
The man she dated suggested she move to a neighboring country. They decided they didn't need the girl.
I cried terribly and hugged her, asking to take me with her, but she said, "I will be back in a few days." Every day I waited for her to simply come without even explaining anything.
There is death between you. She considers you dead. What's that supposed to mean?
She left and was gone for a very long time. The neighbors told me my mother was dead.
It's hard to believe, but little Svitlana believed her mother was dead for 4 years. After all, the woman didn't call or write letters.
A mother's love and father's care and protection create an energetic shield.
And you, Svitlana, were deprived of it when you were little.
Svitlana says her mother only started visiting her in the last few years, when she found out that some strange things had started happening to her daughter.
Larissa, today, you witnessed a story where a father decided to apologize to his daughter, but it was too late. I think it's time for you to apologize too.
I can't turn back the time. Forgive me for being such an awful mother. I'm sorry it turned out this way. I still feel guilty and always will, and this is my pain.
I forgive you.
Of course, we will perform a ritual to lift the curse. But Larissa, you must finally reunite with your daughter. Your maternal protection will help her a lot, as the mother's love is stronger than any curse.
If you're impressed by this story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more amazing investigations are coming up.